Hello again, everyone. I'm Bruce Beck. Welcome to the crown jewel of amateur boxing in the New York metropolitan area. The Golden Gloves began in New York way back in 1927. Tonight, the tradition continues, and for many young boxers, their dreams will be realized this evening. Working with me is a man who has trained numerous Golden Glove winners over the years, Gil Clancy. And Gil, this is really a showcase for New York area boxing.
It's a showcase for worldwide boxing, Bruce. Madison Square Garden has always been known as the Mecca of boxing. Thus, it follows that the New York Golden Gloves was going to be an outstanding tournament. It spawned more world champions than any other amateur tournament in the world. And I attribute that to the fact that a lot of good trainers have been attracted to the Garden, so these kids get the best training in the world.
Gil, you trained six-time world champion Emil Griffith. What did winning the gloves mean to him?
Well, first of all, if it wasn't for the Golden Gloves, he would never have been a fighter. Howard Albert, my partner with Emil Griffith, entered him in the Golden Gloves without Griffith's knowledge. So when Griffith got the letter to report, he wanted to know what it was all about. He wasn't going to do it, but the girls in his factory continued to tease him. He went in the Golden Gloves, and a career was born.
Emil Griffith, Sugar Ray Robinson, Mark Breland, the list of champions goes on and on. Also working with us, a woman who has been around amateur boxing for many years, Kathy Burke. And Kathy, we're going to see kids tonight who started in the gyms at ages 6, 7, and 8.
I've seen a couple. Today, in the weigh-in, we saw Peter Muster. That was a kid I knew when he was about 10 years old. He might have been 78 pounds, 88 pounds. Now he's 156 pounds. He's in the open class. He has maybe 10 years of boxing under his belt, and he's only 20 years old. So, yes, they grow up in the rings.
Now, what about the big guys, the super heavyweights? We can expect a wild one in that division tonight.
Yes, they're always the strong guys, and again, they're in the open division, so they're a little bit better, and we're going to see some of those punches land. Kelvin Hale is someone we've seen 3 times. It's his 3rd year. In 1990, he was a novice champion. He didn't win since then, but he's back for his 3rd try.
The Golden Gloves has spawned the careers of so many fighters, and tonight, another opportunity to see young boxers grow and mature and win championships. We'll come back to Madison Square Garden's Paramount for our opening bout in just a moment. Well, this is where it all starts for a young boxer. This is essentially the farm system for boxing, the Golden Gloves. We are back at the Paramount in New York City. 12 weight divisions in the Golden Gloves from 106 pounds all the way up to super heavyweight. Those fighters begin at 201 pounds. And in the ring right now, Juan Rodriguez from the Lynch PAL, 17 years old. And he will win by virtue of a walkover. And right now, let's pick up the official announcement from Kevin Van Meter.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's first contest is the 112-pound open class. The referee is Frank Lombardi. In the blue corner, Juan Rodriguez from Lynch PAL, a student at South Bronx High School. He was the 1992 Daily News Golden Gloves champion in the 106-pound novice class. In a walkover.
So Juan Rodriguez wins his 2nd Golden Gloves title. He did not have to throw a punch to win this year's title. In 1992, he was the 106-pound novice champion, and this year, the 112-pound open champion. And Gil, earlier today, he said he was disappointed but happy. You know, it's a weird feeling.
Well, yeah, I tell you, Bruce, he would much rather win the fight or the Golden Gloves in a fight. I mean, the way to win it without having a fight is not very much of a prize.
And Kathy is just 17 years of age, so he's a young man who believes he's got a bright future.
Maybe he'll grow into a higher weight class, and then he'll have more competition. Until then, he could just keep joining. It's not his fault.
Well, these guys will have to fight, and so will many others tonight. The next weight class will be the 139-pound open division. Luis Rosado and his opponent, Quentin Fortune. And we're going to see a variety of ages, Gil, throughout the evening. Some fighters as young as 17 and others who are well up there in their 20s.
Well, Bruce, the fact that they have changed the rules helps a little bit when it comes to the competition, because it's tough to see a 16-year-old kid in with a guy that's had maybe 5 or 6 fights in the Army and is 23 or 24 years of age. I mean, this is more equitable this way. And they have lowered the age limit for the Golden Gloves, so it's not as bad.
Now let's explain the rules basically. With scoring done on a 20-point must system, 5 judges will score the fight. The referee does not. A standing 8 count will be used if a boxer is deemed to be hurt. The bout will be stopped if a boxer receives 3 standing 8 counts in 1 round or 4 standing 8 counts during the duration of the bout. Now 3 cautions equal a warning and 3 warnings equal a disqualification. We're set to go in the 139-pound open division.
The next bout is 139-pound open class. The referee is Frank Lombardi. In the gold corner, Luis Rosado, boxing unattached from the Bronx. He is 19 years old and is a daycare center worker. He won the 92 Empire Games and the 92 Spanish Gloves. A 1992 Daily News Golden Gloves quarterfinalist. His record is 1 decision and 2 knockouts in this year's tournament. Luis Rosado. In the blue corner, Quentin Fortune from Times Square Boxing Club. From the Bronx, he is 23 and works as a bookbinder. Fortune was a finalist in the 1992 Daily News Golden Gloves tournament. He has 1 bye and 2 decisions. Quentin Fortune.
So there's a good look at Quentin Fortune out of the Times Square Boxing Club, 23 years of age. He's from Manhattan, compares himself to Pernell Whitaker. And his opponent in the gold corner, Luis Rosado, 18 years of age, from the Bronx, works in a daycare center, the Neighborhood Youth Family Services Program, 1992 Spanish Gloves and Empire State Games champion. So, Gil, it's 3 rounds. And what about the most significant things that a judge will look for scoring?
Well, Bruce, the amateurs are a little different than professional boxing. They more or less count the clean punches that land. It doesn't make any. The power is not supposed to make any difference, although in my opinion it always does.
Here we're looking at a southpaw in Fortune, and we'll see how his opponent adjusts to this. They don't have as much experience in the amateurs.
Well, he compares himself to Pernell Whitaker. If that's the case, he's not going to get hit too much.
And on the inside, scoring well is Fortune. And a good right hand by Quentin Fortune.
Starting out like a typical Golden Gloves fight, all action.
The referee is Frank Lombardi. Fortune lost last year in the Golden Gloves final, 139-pound novice division to Hiram Richmond. So he is back for revenge. It's a 20-foot square ring being utilized tonight, and a good straight left by Fortune.
You know, Bruce, these kids are in just as good condition as a 10-round fighter, but the fact that they don't relax and you can see the action, they're as tired after 3 rounds as a good 10-round fighter is after 10.
Rosado threw only 1 punch as Fortune continues to pummel him with combinations.
These bouts go by so quickly. You only have the 3 rounds and you have to put everything into it, and that's exactly what Quentin Fortune's doing now.
I like the way Quentin Fortune stands there too, Bruce. He's got a nice stance, good balance. And the fact that he's a southpaw, if he does turn professional, he's going to have a big edge, in my opinion, over the orthodox fighter.
So a good first round thus far for Quentin Fortune. Reached the final with 2 decisions and 1 bye.
Luis Rosado has not been aggressive at all, and this bout could just slip right by him.
And he's a guy who's supposed to have punching power, but we really haven't seen much of it. Now he finally gets a combination off.
We have to remember, in amateur scoring, power is not as much as in the pros. It impresses us, but it does not impress the judges.
If I was a judge, it would impress me, I'll tell you that.
Now Fortune backs Rosado up against the ropes. That goes to the body. Final second to the first round.
I want you to shoot too low, you hear me? Right?
Well, in the middle of this round, Fortune got rocked a little bit, but then he answered pretty good.
Rosado is a good puncher, Bruce. You can see that. He sets down on his punch as well. But Fortune came right back. Here he is coming back with a good straight left hand, right on the button.
When we spoke to Fortune today, he told me that his best punch is a straight left hand and an uppercut, so watch out for the uppercut.
Yeah, because I don't want to see you. I want you to get him inside, snap it. Don't let him come near you, okay? Stay away from him. Throw the hard right hand. You know how to do it down.
Tony Sansaverino talking to Luis Rosado.
You think he can follow out those instructions, Bruce? He said, don't let him come near you.
That's not going to be easy. Round number 2, 139-pound open division. Quentin Fortune in the blue and Luis Rosado in the gold. Straight left again by Fortune was a telling blow in that exchange.
Rosado is really coming to life, though, now, Bruce. He's starting to throw bombs.
His corner must have reminded him he only has 2 more rounds to go and he can win the championship. Sometimes they just need a little further instruction. They might not have even known they were fighting a southpaw, and they get into the corner after the first round, and their cornerman can correct whatever mistakes they were making after the first round.
3 3-minute rounds comprise this bout. Rosado is getting off much better.
Unfortunately, is not as aggressive as he was in the first round.
I think he shows a little respect for the punching power of Rosado.
Well, that's just about it, Bruce. Thinking twice before he lets those punches go.
And now Fortune's quickly learning that he's going to pay if he goes inside to score. Midway through the second round. Rosado, who grew up in the Bronx near Yankee Stadium, one of the few unattached fighters that we'll see tonight. And Fortune in this round, content to play the role of counterpuncher.
He's more or less taking this round off. He's allowing Rosado to even up this fight.
Can he afford to do that, Kathy?
Well, the third round is now going to be a deciding factor. If Fortune was as aggressive in the second round, he could have just slid by and only had to stay in for the third round.
Oh, that was a pretty little uppercut thrown by Fortune. All the boxers tonight wearing that protective headgear. Fortune putting some pressure on with less than 30 seconds in the second round.
Coming to life a little bit now, Bruce, but he's getting nailed by good, solid punches by Rosado.
So Rosado battling back. Good uppercut. And Fortune showing signs of fatigue, just grabbing his opponent as the second round draws to a close. Headed to the third and final round, the 139-pound open division, and Gil Clancy, this one is wide open.
I have each fighter winning a round. This is the deciding round, and Fortune looked a little tired sitting on that stool, and he just got nailed by a left hook.
A big left by Rosado.
That was the best punch of the fight.
And now Fortune rallying back.
He's rallying back, Bruce, but on rubbery legs.
Late in the second round, Kathy, Fortune was really wobbly.
He's changed his style so much. He was super aggressive in the first round, and you were right when you said he now respects his opponent's punching power.
That referee, Frank Lombardi, checking out the tape on the right glove of Luis Rosado. That will be quickly repaired, and then they'll get back to the action. You know, it's almost as though, Gil, the fact that Fortune was a southpaw, that it took Rosado a little time to understand what he was doing.
Well, Bruce, believe me, you know, you train in the gym, and very seldom you get the opportunity to work with a southpaw. And he looks like he's figured out just about what to do with Fortune right at the moment.
So a little over 2 minutes left in this bout. Another combination, a stunning combination by Rosado. And Rosado scores again.
They are powerful right hands he's throwing.
How Fortune can stand up after getting nailed with those solid punches is beyond me.
What a comeback by Rosado, who was totally dominated in the first round.
But he has Fortune on rubbery legs right at the moment.
He's got power in those punches. He's throwing leather left and right.
And he's just really starting to feel his oats now, Rosado. See him dancing around it. He really feels good in there. And Fortune is very, very suspect at the moment.
19-year-old Luis Rosado, second year in the gloves, lost last year in the quarters, but looking for the big W this year. And a standing 8 count has been given to Fortune by the referee, Frank Lombardi.
I would have to say that this is the icing on the cake.
Right now, in my opinion, all Rosado has to do is stand up. Second standing 8 count.
And remember, one more in a round, and that would be it for the bout. 4 overall in the 3 rounds would also mean an end. 40 seconds to go.
Now, you talk about professional prospects. This kid Rosado is a good, solid professional prospect. He can punch with both hands. You know he has the ambition to be a fighter. You saw he had a bad first round. The way he came back shows he has plenty of heart. There's a kid that could be a good pro.
He's got some beastly qualities. As a matter of fact, Glenwood, the real Beast Brown, came out of this division, the 139-pound open.
You know, you're always the scout, I notice. You're not training anymore. A great new prospect, another kid.
You never know, Kat. You never know.
Final seconds of the 3rd round. And what a dramatic turnaround for Luis Rosado. Excellent fight. The corner of Quentin Fortune, a Manhattan bookbinder, fighting out of the Times Square Boxing Club. Got out of the gate swiftly, but then Rosado figured him out, and he landed a tremendous amount of punches, Gil, and they were right on the noggin.
Well, you can see the effects on Fortune's face. His right eye is virtually closed. He's taken some good, solid punches. Stood up for the 3 rounds, but that's about it.
There's a good look at Luis Rosado. He won the Spanish gloves, the Empire State Games. And he knocked out 2 different opponents to get to the final, along with the decision that was registered. I mean, you get a good amateur bout, you get plenty of action, don't you?
As I say, they put 10 rounds worth of action into 3 rounds.
So we're standing by waiting for the official decision. Both young fighters are in the ring with the referee, Frank Lombardi. Let's pick up the official announcement from Kevin Van Meter.
The winner of the 139-pound class in the gold corner, Luis Rosado.
So Luis Rosado has his first pair of gold gloves, and well-deserved.
He certainly did. Come back like that was just terrific.
Gil, that right hand had some power behind it.
Well, let's take a look at this punching power. There it is, right hand right on the button. But I like the left hook that came behind it. That was the solid punch. Here you see that right hand, a big right hand. Now watch for this left hook. He missed with that one. These cameramen fooled me this time, Bruce.
Well, you're not fooled there. You can see the man raising his hands. Luis Rosado wins the 139-pound open division. The Paramount at Madison Square Garden in New York City. 19 93 Golden Gloves finals, and here's another look at Luis Rosado as he gets one of the standing 8s against Quentin Fortune in that third and final round. Here's another look at it. Rosado really coming on in those latter rounds.
He certainly did, but then see, there's those pro moves. Left hook, right hand, knows how to put his punches together and knows how to set down a punch with very, very solid punches.
Right now to Kathy Burke with our winner.
Thank you, and I'm here with the 139-pound open champ, Luis, and I see you smiling at the TV as you see the replays. You happy with your performance?
Very happy.
You are. Now, you were in there with a southpaw. Have you done much of this?
No, I haven't fight a southpaw for the longest, but I've been practicing in the gym for a southpaw fighter.
We noticed a big difference in the first round. You might have had a rough time, and you figured them out?
Yes, because I'm a slow starter. I always start out slow, real slow. Once second round start, I start throwing more punches. I get warmer and warmer.
Now, I noticed you're one of the few people listed as an unattached boxer that's still in the tournament. How did that happen? Why are you unattached?
No, what happened was I was in another gym, and the woman, I transferred to Mount Vernon gym, and the woman said that I have to be unattached. She still want me to fight under her name.
Because you certainly have a lot of experience for an unattached fighter. Now what do you want to do now that you won the Golden Gloves?
Now I'm going to go out to the Nationals. Then after that, I might fight in the Pie State Games or I might turn pro. One of those two.
Very good. We have plenty of time. You're still young. Congratulations again. And now back to Bruce at ringside.
Thank you, Kathy. And if he does turn pro, watch out. Lots of power in those hands. We'll be back. Playing the 147-pound novice championship, but this will be another victory by walkover, and the winner will be Kevin Larsen out of the Suffolk PAL. His opponent, Rudolph Marrero, will be unable to fight because of an injured elbow, and he hurt himself sparring. He overextended it. It's been bothering him since the first bout in the early part of the tournament, so he was unable to compete. Let's pick up the official announcement after we get a good look at Kevin Larsen, who had 55 friends coming in from East Northport, New York, but unfortunately they won't get a chance to see him box.
Tonight's next bout is the 147-pound novice class. In the blue corner, Kevin Larsen from Suffolk, PAL, a salesman from East Northport. He is 22 years old. He won the 1992 Metros. Larsen's tournament record is 1 decision and 3 knockouts. The winner of the 147-pound novice class in a walkover, Kevin Larsen.
So Kevin Larsen wins in a division in which the previous champions included Vino Antifermo in 1970 and Kevin Rooney in 1975. Kevin, of course, more known as the trainer of Mike Tyson in his early parts of his career. So Gil, a walkover, and certainly Larsen's disappointed because he had all those friends coming down to watch him.
Well, not only that, Bruce, that he's trained a long time. This is supposed to be the climax for him, and even though he got those Golden Gloves, it's an anti-climax.
A graduate from the State University of New York at Stony Brook, he had knocked out 3 opponents en route to the final, and he wins by walkover over Rudolph Marrero. So Larsen heads out of the ring. Still a lot more boxing coming up tonight. Our next bout will be the 125-pound open division. Felipe Gomez and Ramon Melendez. And these fighters in the next bout, 20 years of age and 22. And it's interesting, the changes, Kathy, over the years. A lot of these boxers are young men who hold down full-time jobs and have to train with their spare time.
That's right. A couple of people actually mentioned today it's hard. One guy's boss gave him off for the Golden Gloves so he can train, but not everybody can do that. They don't make money on the gloves.
You know, Bruce, you hit on something that I've had this theory for a long time. A lot of times they wonder why our amateur fighters don't do better in international competition, and these New York kids do so good in the pros. I think it's because of the fact that these New York kids are tougher. They want to become fighters. They go and they work all day in a factory and then go to the gymnasium on their own time, get up in the morning, do road work, 5:30. Meanwhile, I remember going out to Colorado Springs and watching our amateur fighters. These kids were all treated as if they already were world champions. And they were only amateurs, but they got the best of everything. And when it came to competition, half of them were dead tired in the 3rd round. these kids that really want it and they really go after it, it shows in their performance. They're tough kids.
Time for some fanfare. The trumpets, please.
The fourth contest of the evening is the 125-pound open class. The referee is Dennis Legal. In the gold corner, Felipe Gomez, boxing out of the Starrett City Boxing Club. Gomez is 20, lives in Brooklyn, and attends Kingsborough Community College. He won the Golden Gloves in 1989 and was a 92 Metros finalist. His tournament record stands at 2 buys and 1 knockout. In the blue corner, from the Park Avenue Boxing Club, Ramon Melendez from the Bronx. He is 22, works as a file clerk, and is a student at Bronx Community College. A semi-finalist in the 1992 Daily News Golden Gloves. His record is 1 bye and 2 decisions.
So Ramon Melendez, Park Avenue Boxing Club. Referee in the ring is Dennis Legal. And we're set to go 3 3-minute rounds.
3, 4, 5. Time.
Gomez is a student and Melendez a part-time file clerk. Also enrolled at the Bronx Community College. Gomez in the gold trunks, Melendez in the blue.
Gomez has already shown me some smooth boxing ability, Bruce. Looks like he has educated left hand, can move both ways, left and right.
And it didn't take him long to land a punch early on. Gomez in the gold trunks. Melendez in the blue trunks. Gomez wants to be a detective. He will enroll in the police academy in July. Good right hand landed by Gomez.
Melendez just can't get off first. You can see him trying to work his way inside.
Now Gomez switches to southpaw. Now he's back orthodox style.
He's got good footwork, Gil, and he also feints well.
You can see that side-to-side movement, lateral, great lateral movement. It really looks like he's at home in the rings.
And now Melendez finally gets off and lands a combination.
If I was working in Gomez's corner, I'd tell him to use that left jab overtime.
I knew you were going to say that, to double up on it instead of just throw one.
Starts throwing that right-hand lead. He's playing right into Melendez's hands.
And Kathy, it looks like Melendez would rather turn this into a brawl on the inside.
That's all he has to do is work his way in, but you know, you've got to jab. You've got to do things to work your way in. You can't walk in on someone.
And he's giving away 3 inches in the process.
It looks like there's a huge difference in their size, and there can't be. They're both obviously in the 125-pound weight class.
Oh, they didn't tell you that Gomez has hollow bones?
It looks like a big difference to me.
This Gomez is showing me a lot of ring smarts. I like the way he tied up Melendez in that clinch.
Inside of 30 seconds in the first round. There's the jab, peppering away. He's so smooth, is Gomez, from the Starrett City Boxing Club.
There's that educated left jab.
It's crisp. Final second of the first round as Melendez tries to battle back. Lopez is good. He was a kid who took 3 years off. Back to the Paramount at Madison Square Garden. Bruce Beck, Gil Clancy, Kathy Burke with you. We're in the second round of the 125-pound open division of the 1993 Daily News Golden Gloves. Felipe Gomez in the gold trunks, Ramon Melendez in the blue. And an impressive opening round for Gomez. Kathy, he was the only boxer who was a half a pound over for the weigh-in.
That's right, and he had to walk around. He actually had to find the men's room, do anything to take it off. He took it off.
You know, sometimes that half pound really doesn't mean that much, but psychologically it can bother a fighter. They think they're in great shape, they're ready to go, and then they find out that they have to do something a little extra. So I don't think the half pound would bother him anyway, but psychologically. There's that right hand. I said I don't think that Gomez should be throwing or using that much. Let him stay with that left hand. Now he's turned southpaw. This kid really knows his way around the ring. Not a big puncher. Puts them together, though.
Melendez trying to get on the inside, but that shifty movement of Gomez has been difficult for him to catch. Melendez is a guy who's improved. First year in the gloves, he lost in the first round. Last year, he lost in the semis. This year, he's into the finals. That's good progress.
Certainly is. Also shows the kid that's not discouraged easily.
There was a warning from the referee, Dennis Legal. I believe he warned Gomez about grabbing. And Gil, it's interesting that the referees in these amateur fights communicate by motion rather than by vocal instructions.
Well, they're trained by the Amateur Athletic Union, Bruce, you know. But I really like the way these referees in New York work. They're not as officious as some of these amateur referees. I think a lot of times the referee thinks he's the star and takes over the entire bout or show and ruins every time there's action they step in for some reason or other. But these guys let them fight.
50 seconds to go in the second round. It's a 3-round bout. And thus far it's been Felipe Gomez in control.
Melendez does work his way in, and Gomez really knows how to tie him up anytime he gets himself in, although Melendez has to be busier.
There's that right lead by Gomez again.
Punches are getting a little more wide for Gomez now, I notice.
Well, as you get a little tired, that happens to you. Fatigue, you know, can make cowards of anybody or make an inefficient fighter.
Still got to like the bounce of Gomez and the way he circles quickly. Second round in the books. Gomez, the 125-pound novice champion in '89, took 3 years off from the gloves. He had a wrist injury. He missed the physical. So he had a couple of years of hard luck.
And you know, he probably has the best corner man in the country working with him.
Jimmy O'Farrell.
And come back with the hook. Sidestep, put that right hand through the belly. When you come up underneath, put that right uppercut.
And let's take a look at some of this action. Let's watch this, Gomez. There's that right uppercut that I think is a no-no. But Melendez missed the counter, and Gomez came back with that left hook. He's a well-trained kid.
All right? Good. All right. This is
uppercut and hooks, man.
now this is the last round. He's going to come out trying to kick your ass. Star said he does what? Kick ass. Finish him off. Let's get this thing together.
Man, let's go.
Ramon Melendez's corner. Well, Gil, can you interpret that for me?
Certainly. He's telling him to be more aggressive. Get inside. Back this guy up.
You only know that through years and years of being in that same corner. But you know what? I think you're right. Third and final round, 125-pound open division. Felipe Gomez in the gold trunks, Ramon Melendez in the blue.
You didn't know I could speak Spanish that well, Kathy?
I know you can't speak Spanish that well. It's exactly what you would have told him in the corner.
Hey, that was a good right hand by Melendez.
Yeah, but you can just see the movement on Gomez. He's not allowing Melendez to get back into this fight.
Melendez wants to corner his opponent, but Gomez is too smart for that. Here he comes, inside again. A warning from the referee, Dennis Legal, to keep his punches up. That warning given to Melendez. Also to hit with the front part of the glove with the knuckles.
I think Gomez at this point just has to hang in there.
Gomez has the style to be a real big star in amateur boxing.
Basically what you're looking for in this fight, clean and effective blows with the front part of the glove to the front part of the body.
Go ahead.
I think that's part of the body.
I don't know. I always taught my guys to punch to the body and then to the head.
Yeah, that's true too. You once yelled at me though for saying that a guy got hit on his left head.
Bruce, I didn't yell at you. I was just a little, I was looking for the second head and I never found it.
And you're still looking. 1:15 to go in this third round. Some more of the fine ring generalship. Felipe Gomez.
You can just see the way he can tie up Melendez on the inside. And one of the secrets of tying a guy up is to keep moving with your legs. You don't just stay there and try to outstrength him.
Gomez hopes to be joining the New York Police Department boxing team.
Well, if this was like college recruiting, they'd start him right off behind the sergeant's desk.
At the same time, I cannot picture him as a professional fighter. He's a completely different style. And again, he's the type that would be successful in the amateurs, and you can be for years, and yet you just don't have the style to be a pro.
Why? What are you talking about specifically?
Well, a lot different. For example, Mike Tyson did not make the Olympic team because he's basically a lot of power. He wasn't the pity-pat puncher who could score a lot of punches maybe in 10 seconds, but they're not hurting your opponent or moving them across the ring. And those are the people that make it in amateurs. And yes, they're scoring, but they're not really hurting the man.
Final seconds of the bout. And this should be an easy decision for Gomez. Still, Gil, when you look at Gomez as purely an amateur fighter, you have to be impressed.
Yes, he's a very, very well-schooled fighter. And Bruce, never tell a cornerman and it's an easy decision. Guaranteed until they raise Gomez's hand, his cornermen are going to be worried. You know, funny things happen sometimes when you're watching a fight. And you think you know what's happened, but then you find out that the judges know a little bit more than you or whatever. Take it any way you want, but they come up with a different decision.
So we'll wait for the judges to pull their scoring together. There's a look in the corner of Ramon Melendez. You know, against someone else, a different style fighter, he could have been more effective because you saw him sometimes get into the body and he wanted to turn it more into a war.
Well, he was in with a real cutie, a real smooth fighter with very, very good footwork. Wasn't one of those things where you hit me and I hit you. This kid was a smart kid.
He's got a reputation for being a tireless worker in the ring, a guy who never lets up. So both fighters have joined referee Dennis Legal. Good sportsmanship there, which is a part of the whole Golden Gloves concept.
Bruce, I mean, the Golden Gloves is just such a great, great tournament. There's no question about it.
We're just about set for the official decision. Right now, let's go back to Kevin Van Meter.
And the winner of the 125-pound open class in the gold corner, Felipe Gomez.
So Felipe Gomez has his second pair of gold gloves, his first since 1989. A long wait, but well-deserved in the 125-pound open division. And this is really what it's all about. You're waiting for your name to be called, and then you can just celebrate.
I'm telling, that's why, you know, we all thought he won it easily, but until they raised his hand.
Gomez the winner in the Golden Gloves. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more from the Paramount at Madison Square Garden. Stay with us. At Kingsborough Community College, 20-year-old Felipe Gomez from the Starrett City Boxing Club winning a decision in the 125-pound open division.
And there you saw that educated left hand score 3 times, followed up with the right hand. That was point-scoring punches. They weren't very damaging, but they were point-scoring.
Felipe standing by with Kathy Burke.
Thank you, Bruce. And Felipe, you did everything perfect.
Thanks God. I just want to start by saying that I'm glad I'm back, stronger than ever. I felt a little weak today because I had to lose a couple of pounds there, half a pound, but it drained me also. But I'm glad to be back. 189, I'm back again. And I'm going to be back next year, and I'll be the second fighter to win a third pair of Golden Glove in 3 different weight divisions.
Explain to us what happened in between and what you mean by I'm back.
Well, I won in 1990, and I made it to a quarterfinal in the glove, but then I hurt my wrist, so I had to pull out the tournament. Was back last year I missed the physical, so I couldn't fight in the tournament. I missed out on the physical, so I couldn't fight without being in the physical. I was working from 2 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, so I had no time. I was sleeping all day, so I couldn't go to physical.
Well, now I can see Bill O'Farrell got you to that physical. What'd you do when you were training? How many days a week? How many hours a day?
I was training 6 days a week, and the day that I was off, I used to go out to the beach and run a long time, about an hour running. So I'm glad I'm back. So better in shape, and I'll be back next year in 132 pounds to win my 3rd gold medal.
Well, we're glad you're back too. Congratulations again. Now back to Bruce at ringside.
So the largest amateur boxing tournament in the world, the Golden Gloves, rolls on for Madison Square Garden. Gomez with the celebration. Our next bout coming up. The New York Golden Gloves continue in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Coming up, the 106-pound novice division.
The next bout of the night is for the 106-pound novice class. The referee is Dennis Legal. In the gold corner, Vicente Lopez, boxing for the Times Square Boxing Club. 17 years old, he lives in Manhattan and attends George Washington High School. In the blue corner, Ghany from the Morris Park Boxing Club from the Bronx. Ghany is 16 and attends Columbus High School. He was the 1992 Junior Olympics champion.
So we're set to go, Lopez and Ghany. 106-pounders. Does that mean more action, Gil Clancy?
Well, the hands are faster, the movements are quicker. Usually the punches aren't as damaging. And both of these guys got to the finals the easy way, Bruce.
And when you say the easy way, because this is the only bout in this class.
That's right, so you just don't know what to expect.
First look at novices. That means 2-minute rounds instead of 3-minute rounds.
This is what we might expect. The hands are flying.
And look at the action right from the bell. Ghany putting the pressure on.
A little bit of showboating on Ghany's part.
He's very, very confident, Kathy. I say, oh, I got nailed with a good right hand.
I feel bad for Lopez. I can tell already he's a little outclassed, but you can see he's trying.
Well, one good solid punch can change that. Just landed a good snappy left jab, Lopez did.
That'll knock the confidence right out of you, Gil.
Especially when you're 16 and 17 years old. That's when it's easy to fall under the spell of a psych job.
So Lopez in the gold trunks, 17 years of age, Times Square Boxing Club. Ghany in the blue trunks, 16 years of age. I think the youngest competitor we'll see tonight. And look at the two go toe-to-toe. So it's a freshman in high school against a sophomore in high school.
Big difference, you know, between the freshman and sophomore.
Sure is. Ghany, the 1992 Junior Olympics champion. 15 seconds to go in this opening round. Once again, the novice fighters will go 2-minute rounds versus 3. That's a big difference. So an exciting first 2 minutes in this 106-pound novice class. Paramount at Madison Square Garden. Moving to the second round, the 106-pound novice division. Vicente Lopez in the gold trunks, a student at George Washington High School in Washington Heights, Manhattan, New York. And Glen, Ghany, a student at Columbus High School in the Bronx, a sophomore. And look at Lopez now winging punches, but getting nailed.
This Ghany is a very, very confident kid.
Hey, Lopez hung in there.
He hung in there.
He really hung in there.
But Ghany's he's like amazed. He don't believe anybody can do it the way he can. It almost looks like a mirror image. They're both throwing punches.
I can see Ghany has had a lot of boxing experience, and those are the rules. if you had a lot of bouts before your 16th birthday, you could still enter in the novice class as long as they weren't after. So it's possible he fought a lot when he was a little kid.
He's still a little kid.
Yeah. He's not a little kid.
When you say a little kid, you talking about as a 5-year-old?
Yeah, I'm talking about a youngster is what I should say.
He's still a youngster.
Bruce, we're still youngsters.
Yeah, we got to get out of this conversation.
Compared to whom?
There's a warning, and it was given to Lopez to keep the punches up. A warning in and out of the ring. One warning given to Gil Clancy, and one given to Lopez. And there goes Ghany using his power. And Lopez covering up. A couple of those blows looked long. They really did. And a standing 8, I believe, is being given to Lopez, and he can't believe it.
I thought they were going to give Lopez a warning for holding. But no, they're giving him the 8 count.
So a standing 8 given to Lopez. And again, both fighters winging away, but Ghany getting the better of the exchange.
Sit down, get your hands down. Okay, come on, one more 2 minutes. 2 lousy minutes. 2 lousy minutes, kid. Okay, and it's yours. Okay? Work the jab. Work the jab. Straight jab. Okay? Straight punch. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
The voice of Al Artola. What do you think here, Gil? This was a wild sequence.
It certainly was, but Ghany, you know, he's doing all the punching right now. I thought maybe the referee was going to warn him for low blows.
That's what I thought.
But Kathy thought for holding, and between none of us were right.
But Kathy, one thing you never do here is, as a boxer, you never stop, right? And that's one thing that
that's right. You don't
Lopez
stop
did.
till you're told to stop. But I don't think that a standing 8 count was needed here.
Well, is that along the belt line or not? Tough call.
On the belt line is fine. Below the belt line is when you're in
together
trouble.
and let go kick his ass, okay? Go, Willie, let's go.
You know,
Alfie Correa in the other corner.
You know, Bruce, we've talked about all of the world champions that have been spawned in the New York Golden Gloves. But I think the thing that to be most proud of, and it's just absolutely amazing, of the 624 contestants entered in the Golden Gloves, only 3 failed the drug test and were ultimately brought. That's to me, that's the greatest record that possibly can be. Just absolutely unbelievable. And you know, thanks are due to the National Health Laboratories, a division of the Revlon Corporation, for their generous donation of their time and facilities in the drug and blood testings of this year's competitors. But again, 624 and only 3 with the drug problem. I would think the entire country ought to adopt a boxing program. It may help these kids to stay off the streets and stay out of trouble.
It talks about the quality of the kid in the Golden Gloves. Third and final round, 106-pound novice, and here comes Ghany again.
And you know, Bruce, they talk about the tough neighborhoods and all of the drug problems in the tough neighborhoods. Most of these kids come from those neighborhoods, and they're fine examples. Goes to show you can do it if you want to.
Looks like we have an equipment problem here with that. The headgear has been very good in the last couple of years.
Well, don't start me on headgears because despite the fact that all of the amateur athletic union officials always tell me they've invented a new head guard, it doesn't slip, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. I've never been in a tournament yet where they haven't had to stop a bout, or when the fighters break out of a clinch, they have to readjust their head guard. And if you're involved in a very important fight, that can change the entire fight.
And again, Ghany throwing punches in bunches, and Lopez answering.
And you can see Ghany really wants this. He's psyched himself up.
If Lopez gets off 10, he gets off 14. We've had 3 or 4 wild exchanges.
And Ghany has got the better of every one of them, in my opinion.
They still both look very good for novice boxers that haven't been boxing. They both look good.
This time, Ghany goes downstairs to the belly and then upstairs to the head. 10 seconds to go in an action-packed fight. Ghany urges Lopez on. A little bit of taunting. And that is it. And a nice round of applause from the fans.
Come on. Go to the other side. Good fight. Come on, baby. Come on.
Kathy, it seemed as though every exchange ended with Ghany throwing the last 2 punches.
Correct. He just outworked him. As you said, if one threw 10, the other threw 12 punches.
Well, you know, Bruce, we used to call that last tag. We used to tell the fighters, always get in the last punch, because that's the one the judges remember.
So 2 young, aspiring boxers going at it for 6 minutes, the 3 2-minute rounds, and going at it hard. That's the effort you want to see. Ghany landed some solid blows, Gil.
He certainly did. He was full of ambition. You could just see right here now. Watch Ghany. He really wants to be aggressive, wants to win this fight. There he's throwing punches in bunches.
And here's more later on. This is bunches and punches. Or punches and bunches.
Punches and bunches, and that's what he does. All action.
You know, he's kind of winging side to side. There's the novice versus the open, right?
That's right.
But still, as Kathy mentioned, pretty good for young men in the novice division. Standing by for the decision, let's go back to Kevin Van Meter.
The winner of the 106-pound novice class is, in the blue corner, Glen Ghany.
So Glen Ghany, first year in the Golden Gloves, 16 years of age, from the Bronx, and he's got a championship. Let's watch his reaction, waiting for that call for the first pair of gloves. Yes, it is sweet, isn't it? And on the other side of the coin, Lopez, the disappointment, the frustration of making it to the finals and losing. We'll have more coming up in the 1993 Daily News Golden Gloves. Be a good one, 178-pound open division. Gabriel Hernandez, who fought last year as a heavyweight, and Eddie Bryant.
The next contest is the 178-pound open class. The referee is Manny Fernandez. In the gold corner, Gabriel Hernandez, boxing for Yonkers, PAL. A student at Hostos Community College. He is 19 and lives in Yonkers. His tournament record is 2 decisions and 1 knockout. In the blue corner, Eddie Bryant from the Westside Athletic Club from the Bronx. Bryant is 27 and works as a social services case manager. Bryant won the 1992 Metros and the Empire Games. His tournament record is 1 bye and 2 decisions.
Well, Eddie Bryant is appearing in his 7th Golden Gloves tournament. His best showing before this year was reaching the quarterfinals. So a big turnaround for him. The caseworker at the Vocational Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization which works with families of kids in trouble. Referee for the bout, Manny Fernandez. Back we go to the 3-minute rounds because we're in the open division. Gabriel Hernandez, last year as a heavyweight, this year as a 178-pounder. So, Gil, he lost in a prelim as a heavyweight. He drops the weight, and here he's much more competitive in a lighter weight class.
Well, you know, I've seen Hernandez fight in the Golden Gloves this year, and I was very, very impressed by him. Has a lot of punching power. Now, of course, he's in with a guy that's been in the gloves 7 years, which means he's been boxing for a lot of years. But he had better have a good defense, because this Hernandez can punch.
Hernandez fought as a heavyweight in the Empire State Games, but he came down for the Metros and the Golden Gloves to 178. He's got a KO and 2 decisions. Bryant with 2 decisions and a bye. And here we go. 3 3-minute rounds, 178-pound open division. Slight delay, waiting for the bell, and we're underway.
We're going to hear these punches, I have the feeling.
Hernandez is 19, Bryant 26.
Hernandez is the kind of a kid that if he does stand up in this kind of competition, could be a great professional prospect. He's only 19 years of age, which means he's still growing. Other fighters that started out at a lighter weight, number one was Muhammad Ali. Won the Olympics in this weight class, became one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. Another is Floyd Patterson, who won the middleweight Golden Glove championship and became a heavyweight. There's the kind of kid you look for in a pro prospect is this Hernandez. If he can take a punch, and he's only 19 years of age, he can be taught a lot of things.
And with the natural progression of weight, he could just grow into a heavyweight.
That's exactly right.
Don't forget, he actually was a heavyweight, and I guess through all the training for the last couple of years, he did go down to this weight class. So he definitely can be a heavyweight.
Now a warning to keep the punches up. It was given to Gabriel Hernandez. Not many punches have landed here in the opening round. And unlike a 12-round professional fight, you can't really let much slip by in a 3-round fight.
You'd think a guy like Eddie Bryant, he's been in this 6 or 7 times, that he would really know you have to go for it and you can't let it just slip away from you.
Well, yeah, he's 27 years of age, Kathy. He's probably reached his peak. Maybe he's a little past his peak at the moment.
Hernandez has landed some solid blows. Inside of a minute in this first round.
And there's a little blood showing on Eddie Bryant's lip.
Hernandez trying to land that jab.
Hernandez keeps really spreading his legs very far apart. I don't know if you can get good leverage that way.
Now Bryant scores.
That's what we're talking about. A trainer can correct those obvious mistakes and make a better puncher and a better fighter. There's a good right hand by Hernandez.
And another right hand landed by Hernandez as time winds down in the first round. Back to the Paramount in New York City, Gabriel Hernandez in the gold trunks from the Yonkers PAL. And
That was
quickly a warning from Eddie Fernandez.
That was a backhand by Eddie Bryant.
Eddie Bryant in the blue trunks, West Side Athletic Club, his home in the Bronx. And both fighters getting into it here in the second round. Right hand landed by Hernandez. And a solid body blow. Miguel, we really don't see a lot of boxers go to the body in the Golden Gloves.
Well, again, that's because of that the amateur rules, those pity pat punches. You know, sometimes it's better to just have fast hands and tap that jab out there. And as Kathy had mentioned earlier with Mike Tyson, he never did have the amateur style. Hernandez is similar to that. He likes to throw power punches. He has his legs spread a little far apart, but he's not looking to score points. He's looking to hurt the other guy.
And we have to mention again to our viewers that a jab will score as well as a big rock-solid right hand, correct?
Well, that's what they say.
Correct.
Thank you.
I don't believe that for 1 minute. If anybody's been around boxing for a while, believe me, they just can't count the punches. I mean, I thought the Olympic scoring was a farce last year when they had the machines. And something like 3 or 4 guys had to tap the machine within 5 seconds for it to be a scoring blow. That's ridiculous. You watch a fight, and you can see who's doing what to whom. Did I get the English right?
Yes, excellent. Bryant finally landing a jab. But Hernandez seems to have much more power in those gloves.
Bruce, it doesn't count.
You're right.
He's very composed, though, Hernandez. He's very calm in the ring.
And I think that Bryant has been scoring a lot of punches this round. Ineffective punches, but punches.
And there he threw a nice combination. And it's like a slapping left he's throwing in there.
He's getting tired, Bryant. His mouth is open. And he got caught there.
Got tagged pretty good by Gabriel Hernandez. In the semifinals, Bryant earned a decision over Damian Rice, who was a finalist last year in the 178-pound novice division. So he earned his way to the final. I think Bryant may have stolen this round, and he may be forcing a third and decisive final round. Some blood dripping from the mouth of Bryant. We'll be back. Bruce Beck, Gil Clancy, Kathy Burke at the Paramount Daily News Golden Gloves Finals, 178-pound open division.
Good right hand by Bryant.
And again, the referee, Manny Fernandez.
They forgot the mouthpiece.
They did forget to put the mouthpiece in.
So he gets things under control. Gabriel Hernandez, gold trunks. Eddie Bryant in the blue.
That was some right hand just there by Hernandez.
They only counted 1 point, though, Kathy. But tell that to Bryant.
Blood's inside the mouth and now starting to come out of the mouth of Eddie Bryant. And a right hand loaded up by Hernandez. Hernandez all over Bryant.
He has that determined face right now, Hernandez.
He was chewed out by cornerman Sal Parenti between rounds. Sal said this fight is very much up to the judges. You better work.
The only thing I don't understand about that is Sal said it in English and he speaks Spanish.
It got through. I think the tone got through. Solid left landed by Hernandez.
And Kathy, as you had mentioned earlier, Bryant is just about out of gas.
And a warning from Fernandez to Hernandez for punching on the break. Bryant scoring.
Coming back.
Bryant takes a good punch because he's been nailed with some good solid punches this round.
Hernandez has left himself open a couple of times in maybe the past 30 seconds. He could still get nailed.
I like the way Hernandez sets up his punches. He'll throw a short little right hand to the body and come back with a big left hook on the chin.
Nice combination by Eddie Bryant. And he walks into a right hand. Both of these guys have power in their gloves. Bryant looks to be tiring a little bit.
And Hernandez is a little tired as well.
They're both a little pooped.
20 seconds to go in the bout. Hernandez tries to land the uppercut. And that should do it. And Bryant showed a heck of a chin. He absorbed some crushing blows.
This might be our closest bout of the evening so far.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm giving all 3 rounds to Hernandez.
I have a 2-1 Hernandez.
So do I. It started slowly. First round, not many punches landed. But in the second and third, the efficiency was much better for both fighters, Kathy. And there's a look in the corner of Hernandez. Just 19. Been boxing for only 1 year. Sal Carenti, Al Padella in his corner. Representing the Yonkers PAL.
What? I have the control. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about that, Gabe.
Let's go back to some third round action.
All right, let's take a look at Hernandez. There he's doubling up that left jab, backing the other guy up, and there's that good solid right hand followed by the left hook. I think this kid is a raw talent.
There's the right, Gil.
Straight right hand, right on the button.
See how his eyes never leave his opponent. He's really focused in there.
Hernandez and Bryant waiting for the official announcement. Judges are tabulating their scores. Hernandez wants youngsters to stay in school, out of drugs, and get involved in good things. Right now, let's get the official decision from Kevin Van Meter.
The winner of the 178-pound open class is, from the gold corner, Gabriel Hernandez.
Hernandez gets the victory. And he is pumped. A lot of his friends came down from Yonkers for this one. A very close decision. 3-2 decision. But Hernandez gets it and gets his first pair of gloves. We'll be back. Parade continues. 7th bout of the night upcoming, the 119-pound novice division. Francisco Payano and Robert Zapata. Previous champions in this weight class have included Kevin Kelly and Junior Jones. Good look at the house at the Paramount, and we're set for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is for the 119-pound novice class. The referee is Manny Hernandez. In the gold corner, Francisco Payano from the Morris Park Boxing Club from the Bronx. He is 17 and attends Stevenson High School. In the blue corner, Robert Zapata, boxing for the Webster PAL, also from the Bronx. Zapata is 17 and attends John F. Kennedy High School.
Center ring, guys.
Well, this is the only bout in this class and one bout for the championship. It's that simple. Payano is 17, a student at Stevenson High School in the Bronx, an average of 87 in his classroom. Payano in the gold trunk, Zapata in the blue. And Zapata comes out flying.
This is going to be a wild one.
And there's the head guard, as I was mentioning. You watch these kids, they're going to have to keep straightening out the head guard. They got enough to worry about without having to worry about a head guard.
Zapata in the blue with pretty good credentials, made it to the finals of the Junior Olympics and won the Spanish gloves. And back comes Payano.
This is a tough one for the referee, too. And they're inexperienced, they're holding, they're actually getting caught up in each other.
That's exactly what happens, Kathy. They just do get tangled up in each other. They're throwing punches, they're really not taking their time.
In comes Zapata again. And Payano is landing the left hand on the countering. Both boxers 17 years of age. And you know, Gil, they might know what they want to do, but they might not be able to implement it at this level.
Well, that's exactly. It's the first fight for both of them in the Golden Gloves. Zapata has more experience.
division. Francisco Payano gold trunks, Robert Zapata in the blue trunks. And they come out winging again.
And Payano landed a good stiff right hand.
And now back comes Zapata. Referee Manny Hernandez separating the fighters again. Crisp right hand landing by Zapata. Kathy, sometimes you have to urge fighters on, but not in this bout.
This is just inexperience. The elbows in there and the tangling. Payano has not had a chance to get off at all.
Oh, a great left hand landed by Zapata. This is pure raw boxing.
And Payano landed some good solid punches in that exchange.
Gil, you gotta love the enthusiasm and the effort these two are putting forth.
And believe me, they've trained hard for this fight.
A second warning given to Payano.
Oh, the heads came together there.
5 seconds to go in the round. And the two fighters scramble into the ropes as the second round comes to a close. There's Zapata's corner.
You train so hard, boxing, in and out, sidestepping on, and you're going in there looking sloppy.
Giving it away, Rob.
You're walking right in with your left hand on your lap. You want to get knocked out? Come on, Robert, wake up. You losing, Robert.
Payano's corner. Art Artola, Ulysses Jimenez.
La luz colorada y los 10 segundos, empújate, no te apures, tú vas a flotar, ¿ok? Tú te empújate, que quede que va a flotar, no va a flotar, ¿ok? ¿Ok? No dejes que te empuje la toga, mucho jab, 1, 2, 3, mucha derecha también, no dejes que te empuje, ¿ok?
2 minutos más, baby, let's go! Come on! Come on, Francisco!
Out! Out!
Here we go, third and final round for the championship and the Daily News Golden Gloves in the 119-pound novice division.
I was shocked to hear Zapata's corner tell him that he's losing the bout, and I have the feeling that they don't think that, but that's what they're telling their guy.
And both trainers tried to calm their fighters down. In Zapata's corner, they said, you practice in the gym, you look so good, and then you come out and you fight sloppy.
Sloppy, yes. Well, you must know more than anyone how somebody can look fantastic in the gym, and it's amazing that they arrive for their bout and it's a completely different person in the ring.
Well, that's it. Then it's up to the cornermen to try to get their attention again and try to calm them down and get them back to doing what they've practiced in the gymnasium. But if the cornerman gets excited, so do the fighters. And a lot of these amateur trainers are so wrapped up in this thing that they're very, very excited themselves.
Zapata landed right on the button. Inside a minute to go, and back comes Payano.
I wouldn't want to be judging this fight.
Right hand landing by Zapata. I don't think you'd like to be the referee either. Don't push your head into him, says the referee, Manny Hernandez. Talking to Payano. Both of these guys tiring and still trying hard. Zapata landing the left hand. And I believe a point point is being taken away from Payano. And that is it. So Payano received 3 cautions, and those 3 cautions equal a warning, and the point is taken away for the warning.
Well, to take away a point is just about like taking away the bout at this.
I've scored it exactly that way. I think that point taken away makes the difference in the fight. If Zapata had any edge at all, it was the fact that he was going forward most of the fight, and Payano was backing up and counter-punching. Very close.
So with just about 10 seconds remaining, referee Manny Hernandez taking a point away from Payano. Fun to watch these guys just put all out.
They certainly do.
And this is where it really hurts to not have another bout during the competition. You don't have a chance to work on the little nuances of the fight game. Waiting for the decision. Referee Hernandez did his job in that one, and it wasn't easy. Good look at the 17-year-old Payano. Let's pick up the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 119-pound novice class is, from the gold corner, Francisco Payano.
Payano still wins the bout. What a surprise.
I was not too sure about that one.
So Payano, the 17-year-old from Morris Park Boxing Club from the Bronx, New York. And he jumped for joy on this one. He's waiting for the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached intermission.
The excitement of the win for Payano and the disappointment for Zapata. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with more. First of 2 consecutive nights, crowning champions at the Daily News Golden Gloves at the Paramount in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And we've seen some good fighting so far tonight, and we've talked about trainers and their importance in the development of these young boxers, and right now one is standing by with Kathy Burke.
Thank you, Bruce. I'm here with Sal Corrente of the Yonkers PAL, a man who devotes a lot of his time to all of these people. And tell us how it all comes about and what you do during the day with these guys.
Well, I work in the gym with them. I follow them home. I'm sort of like a father to a lot of these kids, and I try to do the best I can to keep them off the street and just try to give them a little bit of the outside world that I've experienced and let them taste a little bit through boxing.
And again, this is all donated time. What do you do when you're not with the boxing people? I'm sure you have a job and other things to tend to.
Well, I do have a job, and part of my job is the PAL boxing program, Community Services Affairs. But I put a lot of my own time in, my days off, my vacation, and I just love the job. I love boxing. I love helping kids. I come from a very poor area, and I had nothing when I was a kid, and I know what it's like. So I want these kids to experience all the things I did, and if it's possible for me, I want to expose them to it.
How many people did the Yonkers PAL start out with this year, and how many are remaining?
Well, I'll tell you, we started out with about 20. And if it wasn't for the flu, Kathy, I think I would have had about 8 in the finals or in the semifinals or whatever. Some of my big guns got sick with the flu that we had this season, and we're out.
Jeez, that must have killed them. When you had Gabriel Hernandez in the ring back there, they were scouting him as a pro prospect. They're in love with Gabriel Hernandez. How have you been working with him?
Gabriel, believe it or not, has only been boxing 1 year. I've never had a kid that's more dedicated than him. He's in the gym 6 days a week, wants to be a boxer really bad. He didn't even want to be a novice fighter. He wanted to jump right in the open class. It's in his blood, and it's a pleasure. I'm so happy that he won because this is what he wants to do more than anything.
Now you will keep Gabriel, I guess, in the amateurs for quite some time, though. You don't.
At least another year. I got to see what he does. You know, it's up to him really, but he needs at least another year.
Well, Sal, you're doing a fantastic job. You're a saint for what you do with these people. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you, Kat. Appreciate it.
Now back to Bruce Beck at ringside.
So Sal Correnti is smiling tonight because earlier his young boxer Gabriel Hernandez scored a victory. In the Paramount in New York City, the 66th annual Daily News Golden Gloves, and during the intermission, many past fighters were introduced, including this guy, Jake LaMotta, the Raging Bull. And Gil, what a round of applause he received.
Well, he deserves it. He was just such a great fighter and gave the fight fans so much entertainment in his long and illustrious career. He deserves anything he gets.
Giving Bill Gallo a kiss, and the crowd went crazy. He is a regular here, by the way. He's here for many of the professional fights at the Paramount, and still signing autographs as we speak. Jake LaMotta, a legend. Well, we turn our attention now to the big boys. The super heavyweight open division. Kelvin Hale, 235 pounds. Harlise Watson, 210.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is the super heavyweight open class. The referee is Lou Fugazi. In the gold corner, Kelvin Hale for the Times Square Boxing Club from the Bronx. Hale is 23 and works as a receptionist. Hale was the 1990 Golden Glove Super Heavyweight Novice Champion. He was also a finalist in the 1992 Daily News Golden Gloves and won the 92 Metros. His record is 1 by 2 decisions and 1 knockout. In the blue corner, Harlise Watson, boxing for the New York City Department of Corrections team. He is 31 and hails from Bed-Stuy. His tournament record is 1 by 1 decision and 1 knockout.
So it's Hale against Watson. Hale, a receptionist at FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology, and Watson with the New York City Department of Corrections. He's a correction officer at Rikers Island.
Kelvin Hale had mentioned today on previous tapes of his bouts, we said mean things about him. So I want to try and be a little bit nicer this year.
Well, this is the third competition for Hale.
Kathy, you have to call him the way you see them. And right now, I see a spare tire around his middle.
I think that's what we spoke about last year.
Kelvin Hale in 1992 lost the super heavyweight final to Pasquale Liano. That was the open division. And in 1990, he was the super heavyweight novice champion. For Harlise Watson, this is his first Golden Gloves. Hale in the gold, Watson in the blue. 3 3-minute rounds.
It looks as if this bout is going to be quickness against power. The power with Hale.
This is a corrections officer against a receptionist at Fashion Institute of Technology.
It sounds like a mismatch, doesn't it?
You know, if I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology and Hale was the receptionist to greet me, I'd probably go to another school.
Well, Watson looking to show some boxing skills here early, and Hale pops in there and lands the right. Watson says he's pretty small for this division, being only 210, and he gets nailed by a couple of big rights from Hale. Referee is Lou Fugazi. Watson's jab, evident again.
And Hale's back with that big left hook and the right hand to the body.
Oh, another combination landed by Hale.
One thing we shouldn't have to worry about, or at least Hale shouldn't, is his conditioning, because he has Jimmy Glen in his corner, one of the best trainers around.
This is interesting. Watson tries to pepper away with the jab, and then all of a sudden Hale says, I don't want to throw a jab, I'm just going to go crush him. And he does. He goes to the body and then to the head. He is relentless with those bombs.
He hurt Watson with that short left hook on the inside.
Watson's taking a little breather. Big breath.
And some blood now streaming from the right nostril of Watson. Watson landing 3 blows, 4, 5, and then all of a sudden you'll see Hale with a flurry. Gil, this goes against everything you always preach a boxer to do. Watson is jabbing and he's setting things up, and then Hale just goes through him like a buzzsaw.
Hale gets inside, gets within punching range, and if I was in Hale's corner, I'd tell him to use that left hook to the body a lot more often than he's using it.
15 seconds to go in the first round. Lots of blood now streaming down the face of Watson. And Watson has landed a lot of punches in this round, but it's been Hale who has just exploded. And a couple good punches at the bell landed by Watson.
That's the way to do it. That's the way, Papa. That's the way to do it.
Jimmy Glen in the corner of Kelvin Hale also trains this guy, Mark Gastineau, the former New York Jet turned boxer. So Mark looking on, rooting for Kelvin Hale. And Hale is a big boy.
And I imagine that Hale has boxed some rounds with Mark Gastineau, probably acting as a sparring partner.
Who would be a sparring partner for who?
Well, Mark Gastineau is the professional fighter, Kathy.
Gil, here's some action for the first.
And you can just see the power in Hale's punches. But again, if we go by the amateur rules, they only count the same as a left jab. And Watson landed a lot of left jabs. And I still gave the round to Hale.
So did I. I've been sitting next to you for too long. Here comes Hale, charging away.
He's a strong guy.
It's like a little steamboat.
He'd be a great nose guard.
A caution given by Fagizi.
Nice uppercut
to
by Watson.
Watson jabbed all through the first round, and yet that's used to set up other punches or to keep your opponent off balance so then you can continue fighting. But that's all he was doing, was jabbing.
So he was jabbing with no purpose is what you're saying.
Right, he wasn't setting up future punches.
So Gil, that gets back to what you've always said. You've got to throw more than one.
And right now Watson is showing signs of being very, very tired.
That's a terrible bloody nose we're looking at now. A lot of blood.
Watson is a bloody mess, and we still have 2 minutes to go in the second round.
And he just almost decided to sit down, Bruce.
Stop.
And the referee sends Watson to the corner. I believe he's going to call for the doctor to take a look at that nose. Doctor checking out if that nose is broken. And he says he's okay. Gonna let him continue.
And you can see that Watson has really shown signs of being weary, even though he got that little rest when they examined his nose.
Right. I think a lot of it must be frustration on Watson's part also.
Right hand landing by Hale. Watson is plenty game. And here comes Hale the other way.
I was looking for the standing 8 count after that combination, but apparently referee Fagizi didn't think that it was those punches were that damaging.
And Watson was smart enough to go running out of there. He's been boxing for 10 years. He's 31. He's got plenty of experience.
Kelvin is determined. He's just coming forward.
Good right hand landed by Watson.
You can see the power even in the jab, even in Hale's jab. When he lands a jab, it moves you.
An impressive two-punch combination landed by Hale. Hale throws punches with bad intentions. Hale again with that left hook. And then the short uppercut. Well, Watson's got plenty of courage. Two rounds in the books. Good action round.
That's the way I'm talking about, man. Put them fucking jabs out there, right? Jab right hand, hook. Jab right hand. Stick and move. He pushes you. Go to the side, man. We don't push with him. You all right? Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
Breathe through the nose.
Yeah, he's all right. All right. Oh. Get some water. Get some water. Come on, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Jab right here. Watson, breathe. Come on, Papa. Come on. Breathe through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Let's shake. Side to side, let's shake. Doing it, all that shit with power. Work to the body.
It's my ex-fighter, Willie Dunn, that's air conditioning in the corner.
I don't think you ever did that for Willie, so I don't know where he learned it from.
I must have been over to London one time. They have but they have a trick. They spin the towel.
What would your suggestions be here to Watson, Gil, for the third round?
Well, his corner gave him the right instructions. They said stick and move, stick and move. But you know, he's got this big, strong, tough fire plug to keep off him. It's not easy.
Third and final round, super heavyweight open division. Kelvin Hale, gold trunks, Harlise Watson in the blue.
Beautiful uppercut by Watson, but nothing seems to move here.
Watson has landed plenty of crisp punches.
And Watson is really tired. He's fighting on courage right at the moment. There it is again. Trying to sneak that uppercut. That was...
Then he changed his mind, I think.
Right, it was half and half. There it is again.
Yeah, he has that in his head.
He thinks he found an opening, but if you throw that uppercut often enough, you leave yourself wide open for a hook.
He's handcuffing Hale here at the beginning of the third round.
But Hale is wearing him out, wearing him down. He's making Watson work.
Double jab landed by Watson.
There's a stiff jab.
One of the few we've seen from Hale.
Another one. The difference in the power and the jabs of the two fighters.
Oh, a right hand that really nailed Watson.
Break! Stop!
And now a standing 8 count given to Watson by referee Lou Fugazi.
5, 6 mouthpiece.
I thought I saw something fall out of the ring. A mouthpiece?
I thought so too.
I thought it was a mouthpiece. There's the mouthpiece. Very good, Kathy. Sharp eyes.
It goes back to the corner. It'll be washed off.
And again, it's giving Watson time to regroup.
This is the first punishing bout of the evening, I think.
And it's only fitting it's the super heavies.
Now Watson has taken tremendous punishment in this fight. You can see the blood streaming out of his nose. He's gasping for breath.
And there's still 1:50 to go in this third round.
You can see every time Hale throws a punch, no matter what kind of punch, it's just packed with power.
Watson hanging in there on sheer guts. Blood continues to stream from his nose, both nostrils.
He's a tough guy though, Watson. Still fighting.
Caution given to Hale.
And Watson landed the uppercut again.
The super heavies. Hale the 25-pound edge.
And Bruce, if they really are serious about counting punches and a jab is as much as a stiff right hand, Watson would be in this fight because he landed a lot of clean punches. But when Hale lands one, it makes up for 5 of Watson's.
hate to see someone lose a bout like this. You wish they could both win. They're both paying the price.
Watson has come back beautifully in this round. He's landed a lot of clean punches in the last 30 or 40 seconds.
Final 20 seconds of the bout. And all of a sudden, Hale has really quieted down. And Watson throwing jabs. Final seconds of the bout. And this one is over. Bloody but proud. Watson.
Bloody but unbowed.
How did you score this one, Gil?
I have it very, very close, Bruce. You got me brainwashed a little bit with these amateur rules. If you want to go by punching power, it was all Hale, but Watson scored a lot of clean punches, especially in the last minute and a half of the fight.
And again, we've been talking about the severity of the blows and whether they are judged differently than just a jab. In the rules, it says this: the value of blows scored in a rally of infighting shall be assessed at the end of such rally and shall be credited to the boxer who has had the better of the exchanges according to the degree of his superiority. Does that clear things up at all?
Not at all.
Let's see the way that Hale tried to interpret these rules, Gil.
There's a straight right hand, and he comes back with a right hand counter. And another stiff right hand from Hale.
He had dynamite in those gloves. But Harlise Watson, the corrections officer, was a tough opponent.
Very nice bout, both of you fellas.
And a nice embrace from the two fighters. They stand on each side of referee Lou Fugazi. And we stand by for the official decision.
And the winner of the super heavyweight open class is from the blue corner, Harlise Watson.
And Watson wins it. So the judges, scoring 4-1 in favor of Harlise Watson, felt that, as Gil mentioned, he scored more often. There's the winner, Watson. Let's get the reaction first of Kelvin Hale. He is stunned, absolutely stunned. And the winner, the euphoria of the victory. The Golden Gloves go to Harlise Watson. Bill Clancy, Kathy Burke back at the Paramount at Madison Square Garden as the Daily News Golden Gloves continues with the 132-pound Novice Championship.
Now, this bout for the 132-pound Novice Championship. The referee is Lou Codella. In the gold corner, Jimmy Posa from the Starrett City Boxing Club. Abloris Posa lives in Brooklyn and is 22. His record won by 1 decision and 2 knockouts. In the blue corner, Noel Sanchez, boxing for the Athletic Fitness Team. Noel and his brother Artie are the only brother combo in this year's finals. A hospital porter from Brooklyn, Sanchez record is won by 1 decision and 2 knockouts.
So we're getting set for the 132-pound novice class. Jimmy Posa in the gold trunks, Noel Sanchez in the blue trunks. Posa 22, as is Sanchez, and both are from Brooklyn. So this could be a borough war. Sanchez quickly going to the body. Third man in the ring is Lou Codella. Sanchez, 1988 went to the semifinals, but this is his first tournament since. And a big right hand landed by Sanchez. Back comes Posa. Standing 8 count given to Posa.
Lou Cadella is the type of referee who keeps everything under control.
Well, Posa was taking some pretty solid shots. I think that it was a good, wise decision to step in and give him a standing 8 count. Just got nailed with another good left hook.
Oh, big right hand pounded there by Posa. Sanchez turns things around, and now it's Posa.
Oh, and he wobbled Sanchez with that straight right hand. That was his best punch of the fight.
A little merry-go-round action there. Big blows thrown by Sanchez.
They're just wide swinging punches.
And you can see Posa fooling around with that head guard.
2-minute rounds in this novice division.
I think Posa is going to take control of this bout. He looks much, much calmer than Sanchez. A little bit sharper.
He was given a standing 8 in his first round. And clearly the message that we saw by the judges for that last fight is that it will be the number of blows, not the power of the blows, that are the key here in the scoring, whether you agree with it or not.
And you know, Bruce, we used to call some judges blood judges. If they saw a lot of blood on the guy, he automatically lost the round. Here was a case where Watson was getting hurt by the punches. He was really bleeding badly, but the judges did not consider any of that. They just considered the clean punches landed.
Noel Sanchez's brother Artie will be fighting tomorrow in the 147-pound open final. Here's a look at brotherly champions over the years, including 1992 when George, Danielle, and Nick Acevedo all won championships. Virouette, Gil, a familiar name. Edwin and Adolfo Virouette.
Both of them very, very familiar to me. And Edwin gave Roberto Duran one of his toughest fights when he was at his best weight, when Duran was a lightweight.
This is round 2 of the 132-pound novice class. Still like the way Posa looks, Kathy?
I do. Now you'll see he took a punch in there, but he's going to come back. And he has a left hook that when it works, it's good.
Well, he ate a straight right hand from Sanchez.
Well, he's the shorter of the two, and instead of trying to stand straight up, he should take advantage and go even lower. I know in the amateurs you can't duck down too much, but he can bob and weave a little more than he does. That's why he gets nailed with those punches by Sanchez. Sanchez looks like he's starting to run out of gas.
Posa uses his hands in a different way outside the ring. He's a florist for Exotic Florists in Brooklyn. So we go from a receptionist to a florist, Gil, in a game that's supposed to be meant for pugilists. Now Posa beginning to take control.
And Sanchez is starting to tire.
Posa with a big right hand. And a good crisp jab followed up by a right hand. 20 seconds to go in the second round. And another thunderous left landed by Posa.
He's by far the fresher of the two. He's tired, but Sanchez is even more tired.
Good round for Posa. 132-pound novice division in the New York Daily News Golden Gloves competition. And I think it's all on the line in this one for the judges. Noel Sanchez in the blue and the more fresh Jimmy Posa in the gold. Posa was given a standing 8 in the first round, but came back strongly in the second.
These two kids that really want to go home with those golden gloves.
Conceded Sanchez is exhausted, but he's going for it. It's when you get a little more sloppy, too.
He's very, very tired at the moment, but he's still winging, sucking it up, gritting his teeth. Look at him looking at the clock. Still has plenty of time to go, and this is a big break for Sanchez.
And again, it's the headgear. That's the problem. It will have to be attended to in the corner.
This is a big, big break for Sanchez because he was really fading.
And Jimmy O'Farrell in the corner, who's fixing this, knows that it's a big break, and he's going to get this fixed as quick as he can.
Still 75 seconds left in this third and final round.
And Posa did a very smart thing, went right to the body. When a guy's tired, he really can't take those body punches.
And he landed 4 or 5.
They look like pretty clean punches to me, but he was warned for a low blow.
Posa trying to load up on one punch. .40 seconds to go.
Well, if they count body punches, Posa is having a pretty good round.
Sanchez battling back. Posa's uppercut is effective.
Big right hand by Sanchez, but again, Posa answers back. He's by far the fresher, stronger of the two.
Another warning given to him by Lou Cadella. Final seconds of the bout. And a right hand landed by Sanchez before the buzzer. A good fight. Clean and hard fought. Crowd enjoyed it. And both guys with mutual respect. Well, after that last decision, we can expect anything. But do you think Posa earned the decision, Gil, with the second and third rounds?
I thought he was by far the fresher of the two, landed the cleaner punches in the second and third round. I gave the first round to Sanchez.
Posa out of the Star City Boxing Club. And there's Noel Sanchez from the Athletic and Fitness Center. Both young men from Brooklyn. And don't you think there's something a little extra on the line in this type of event where you've got the two kids from Brooklyn?
That's right, Bruce. You know, to be the champion of your block sometimes is more important than being the champion of the city or the world.
Judges are taking a long time for this one.
Okay, boxes.
Now we're just about set to go with the official decision. Let's pick it up.
And the winner of the 132-pound novice class is from the gold corner, Jimmy Posa.
Jimmy Posa with a 3-2 decision. We just received the scorecards, and it was close, Gil.
Yes, it was close, but again, I thought Posa won the last 2 rounds, and I thought that Sanchez got a little break when they had to fix the headgear on Posa.
So Jimmy Posa wins his first pair of golden gloves.
We'd like to remind you that tickets for tomorrow night's
One happy young man. Posa's got it. We'll be right back. Champions to be crowned tonight. So far, there have been 9, including Jimmy Posa, standing by with Kathy Burke.
Thank you, Bruce, and I'm also here with the crowd from the Starrett City, BC. Congratulations to Jimmy Posa. And tell me, was this your toughest bout ever?
It wasn't one of the toughest, but it was very tough. I got to give it and take my hat off. I'd like to thank the Starrett City Boxing Club, Jimmy, and my trainer and manager, Andre Rizzo. He's a great guy. I love him. And also I'd like to dedicate the fight to San Miguel, who was hit by accident. Ebony boys coming through. We love you.
You know, I've never, ever heard an amateur before say my trainer and manager.
Great guy.
Tell me what things he tell me all the other things he helped you out with.
With everything. Gave me so much heart. Taught me the 4 pieces, everything. I got to give it to him. And I'd like to thank Jimmy too for letting me work out. And Jimmy's a great guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you've got a great club that you work out of.
I know that.
Do you want to continue with boxing?
Absolutely.
Okay, now I've got Jimmy O'Farroll standing behind me, and I've got to ask, you keep counting in my ear all night. What are you counting?
I'm counting 1, 2, and I got 1 more to go.
So far, 2 champions, and he has 1 more to go, and that's tomorrow evening?
Mongo tomorrow.
Mongo tomorrow. I've been hearing the name Mongo for a while.
He works a while. He takes care of business. He comes to fight. If you're not ready, shame on you.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, champ.
Thank you very much.
And now back to Bruce at ringside.
The beauty of the team in amateur boxing.
Well, you know, really, Bruce, that's what it's all about. You know, when you're in a gym and you see these kids come in day after day, week after week, it comes year after year, you all become one big family. You'd be surprised that a lot of the professional fighters that I used to manage, they became pros. They started in the Golden Gloves, and they still see each other, and they're still concerned about each other. It's a great feeling.
We're moving on to the 156-pound Open Championship. Russell Campbell and Fernando de Senja on the trumpets will get this next one rolling.
The next bout on tonight's card is the 156-pound open class. The referee is Lou Codella. In the gold corner, Peter Muster, boxing for the Suffolk PAL team. Muster is a sophomore at Suffolk Community College. He is 20 years old and hails from Eastport. A quarterfinalist of the 92 Golden Gloves, he won the 92 Long Island Empire Tournament. His record, 4 decisions. In the blue corner, Miguel Osorio, boxing out of the Atlantic Boxing Club. He is 20, lives in Mastic Beach, and attends William Floyd High School. He was a quarterfinalist in the Empire Games. Osorio's record stands at 1 bye and 3 decisions.
So we've got 2 gentlemen here who have had to endure 4 different bouts to get to the final. 20-year-old Peter Muster and 18-year-old Miguel Osorio. Muster in the gold trunks, Osorio in the blue trunks. Muster's 5th appearance in the Golden Gloves. He's been to the semis, the quarters, the prelims. This is the farthest he's ever got.
Now we're going to see if Osorio can handle a southpaw. Some fighters just get completely discombobulated. They don't know what's going on.
Once again, open division, 3 3-minute rounds. Scoring done on a 20-point must system. 5 judges scoring the bout.
Osorio just won't let loose. He's holding back with those punches.
Well, again, it may be the fact that Muster is a southpaw, and it's confusing him a little bit. And as you had mentioned earlier, Muster's had a lot of experience. You remember him as an 85 and 90 pounder. He's been around for years. And he's fighting like an experienced fighter. You can see he's not letting it all hang out, looking for spots.
And Muster in the Junior Olympics lost to a familiar name, Clancy.
Hurley.
It's Hurley. My daughter's son, Tommy Hurley, won the Junior Olympics when he beat Peter Muster.
That's all in the family.
It's all in the family, but it's still a Hurley.
Okay. Oh, jumping on for a ride now is Osorio. Had a lot of clean punches in this first round. Straight left landed there by Muster. Muster took the 156-pound Long Island Championship, took the bronze at the Empire State Games.
And you can see the difference in the experience. These kids aren't wild and woolly the way some of those other fights were. I mean, the pace is a lot slower. They look for spots. They don't allow themselves to be too wide open. You can see Muster with those cute moves on the inside. He really doesn't get hit that much.
Inside 30 seconds to go in the first round.
These two have sparred together once, but it's amazing. They're both from Long Island, and they've never had a bout against each other with all the tournaments they entered.
Not much action in this opening round. On to round 2 of this 3-round 156-pound open division bout. And the Daily News Golden Gloves at the Paramount, Madison Square Garden, New York City. Bruce Beck, Gil Clancy, Kathy Burke with you. Glad you could join us tonight. This is our 10th of 12 bouts. Championships this year fought on concurrent nights with 12 champions awarded in each evening. And there's a pretty good flurry put together by Osorio.
The way this bout is going, that may be enough to win him the round.
Kathy, Muster has to get busier.
I'm surprised this bout is going so slow. I figured after they came out of their cornermen would have spoken to them and things would have changed. This is everything on the line.
Well, everything, you know, in boxing, funny things happen, Kathy. Sometimes styles just don't mesh. And no matter how hard you try, no matter what you tell the fighter, you just can't do it.
For all his brawn, Muster is a factory worker at a doll factory.
We've had some strange jobs today.
Very much different when you think about boxing. Almost like an oxymoron there, working for a doll factory and you're a boxer.
Now, there was a case where Muster made Osorio miss, but then didn't do anything about it. I mean, you make the guy miss, you have to make him pay. And that's what Muster is not doing up to this point. Again, he's being very cute. He's not getting hit himself, but he's not doing much scoring or any scoring, neither one of them.
Gil, similar to using the jab and then not doing anything off of it?
That's correct. But they're not even using the jab. Any little action at all is supplied by Osorio this round.
Osorio from Mastic Beach, New York, Atlantic Boxing Club. He's a student at William Floyd High School. And Osorio again with the better of the exchange. If you're counting punches, Osorio has thrown many more punches in this particular round. Now Muster there, Kathy, walked right in but didn't do anything.
Well, he just hasn't been moving his hands at all. There he got nailed with a good punch right on the chin.
Osorio with a combination.
Osorio was pretty cute himself. You saw him spin Muster around that time. Muster thought he had him trapped on the ropes.
Osorio, a graduate of the Kid Gloves program. He won that 4 times. So good round for Osorio. Now Muster heads back to his corner where he greets a trainer with a tuxedo on, which is rather unique. I don't think I've ever seen Gil in a corner with a tuxedo. That's Ralph Delgado, and he made his boxer Peter Muster a bet saying, if you get to the finals, I'll show up in a tux. And there he is. That is not the announcer in the ring. That is his trainer.
I wonder what he has to do if he wins the final.
You know, he may have to do something similar to what the the basketball coach in the Final Four, if his team won, he promised him he'd shave his head. Maybe if Muster wins, maybe you could suggest that that's what he has his trainer do.
You know, Gil, he looks sharp. It could be a new trend.
The thing is, Bruce, it would be more beneficial if Muster looked a little sharper.
Because thus far he's been in the tuxedo, hasn't been throwing many punches. Maybe even a straight jacket.
Somebody has to should have reminded Muster that this is only a 3-round fight.
Well, I have it with each boxer winning 1 round, so this could be the telling round.
I have it scored exactly the same way, Bruce. And how about you, Kathy?
We all do. First round for Muster, second round for Osorio.
The punches don't mean anything, but at least Osorio's throwing, and they're not hard punches, but he's landing something.
Now you'd figure at least Muster's the one who's the southpaw, so he shouldn't be mixed up. He's used to fighting orthodox guys.
That's correct.
And there again, a little bit of a rapid-fire combination by Osorio. A straight right by Osorio.
Another straight right by Osorio. Good left hand, too. And Muster looks like either he's trained a little too hard or he didn't prepare himself well. He just doesn't seem to be with it mentally.
There are nights when they say a fighter can't get off. And that's what it looks like here. The scouting report on Osorio, not a big puncher, but he's smart and knows how to score. That sounds pretty accurate.
Well, that's the scouting report on both of them, Bruce. Neither guy's a big puncher. Well, and Muster has all that experience, and he's a southpaw. You think he'd be able to do a little better than I think he's doing at the moment. Of course, the judges may not be looking at it the same way I am. But
that was a cute move by Osorio.
Oh, he's making beautiful moves in there, and he's scoring.
A minute to go in the third and final round. This 156-pound open division. Muster in the gold, Osorio in the blue.
I think Muster got rocked a little bit in there.
He did. He got wobbled. Didn't look like a hard punch, but his knees buckled.
He did.
He may have had a train down to make the weight, Muster, because he just doesn't seem to have any zip at all tonight. Nailed again.
He's walking into those punches.
Coming up on 20 seconds left in the bout. And the second and third rounds have been all Osorio. Muster just holding on. So this one is over. And Miguel Osorio continuing to throw the majority of the punches in the second and third rounds. And Ralph Delgado takes off the tape and looks a little disappointed. Osorio comes over to the corner to extend his best wishes to the Muster camp. Golden Gloves continuing tonight at the Garden. First began back in 1927 with George McDonald and Bernie Hart, not household names, through the punches that launched the Golden Gloves. McDonald won that very first bout and became the first of more than 1,200 New York Golden Gloves champions over the next 66 years. Osorio and Muster have joined referee Lou Cadilla as we await the decision of this 160-pound open division. Let's get the call from Kevin Van Meter.
And the winner of the 156-pound open class is, from the blue corner, Miguel Osorio.
Miguel Osorio pitched the shutout. 5-0 according to the 5 judges. And he was just the busier of the 2.
Yes, he was. He was the busier. He just did just about all the scoring after the first round.
A quiet bout. Osorio has the pair of golden gloves. We'll be back. To the Paramount in Madison Square Garden. We move on to our 11th bout of the night in the 1993 Daily News Golden Gloves Finals. Heavyweight Novice Championship. The big guys with little experience. Now we're just about set for the fanfare, which has preceded all the bouts tonight. Russell Campbell, Fernando de Senja.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this match is for the heavyweight novice class championship. The referees Pete Santiago. In the gold corner, Stanley Greenwood from Gleason's Boxing Club from Brooklyn's Brownsville, the heart of New York boxing glory. Greenwood is 20 and is a construction worker. His tournament record is 1 by 1 decision and 2 knockouts. In the blue corner, John Rosado, boxing from Oliver's Gym. Rosado is 22 and a student at Hunter College. In this year's tournament, his record is 1 by 2 decisions and 1 knockout.
So it's Greenwood against Rosado. And both fighters around the 200-pound mark. Greenwood 4 pounds heavier. Greenwood, who's in the gold trunks, went to Camp Kathy with Riddick Bowe when Bowe fought Holyfield and sparked 3 rounds with him every day.
That's correct. So we'll see how much experience he's showing now from that.
And a much quicker start than our last bout.
And for novice fighters, they both already showed me that they know how to fight. Greenwood showed a good snappy jab, and Rosado came out with good short left hooks. A lot of snap.
Pete Santiago takes a point away from Juan Rosado. A warning right away. And he takes a point away for that late punch. So an uphill battle now for Rosado, losing that point right away.
I don't think 1 point is going to decide this fight there. Because there's a lot of bombs going to be thrown, and they're throwing correct punches. A lot of snap on them.
They each have a couple of knockouts along the way, or actually Greenwood has 2 knockouts, and Rosado has 1. So the chances are pretty good.
Greenwood missing wildly. Greenwood is 20, Rosado 22.
Rosado keeps dropping his hands. He better keep those up.
Greenwood shows a good snapping left jab.
Greenwood last year entered the Golden Gloves without training. This year he says he's a lot sharper.
Well, if you work with Riddick Bowe every day, it'd have to be pretty sharp.
That should do it, Gil. You can learn through osmosis. Rosado scoring in the inside. Three 2-minute rounds again in this novice division. Final seconds of round 1. General, you keep the enthusiasm up. You're unbelievable. Yeah. You're like immune to your calls. We're back at the 66th Annual Daily News Golden Gloves Finals. First of consecutive nights at the Paramount at Madison Square Garden in New York. Heavyweight novice fighters in the ring. Rosado in the blue trunks, Greenwood in the gold.
And Rosado comes out of that corner like he's shot out of a cannon.
Good counter right hand by Rosado.
Rosado has that determined face at the moment.
And for heavyweights, these guys are both very, very quick. Supposed to be novice heavyweights. They're showing, in my opinion, a lot more skills than we saw in the open heavyweight class.
You know, they're both pretty short for heavyweights. Rosado's 5'10 and Greenwood is 5'11.
Pete Santiago, the third man in the ring. Greenwood from Brooklyn, Rosado from the Bronx. So an interborough war.
Right up to this moment, the difference in the fight, in my opinion, is Greenwood's left jab.
There it is again. And he doubled it up that time. So Rosado has to counter. That's his only choice because Greenwood is getting off first. 30 seconds to go in the second round. Keep in mind, a point was taken away from Rosado in the first round for a late punch. Good combination by Rosado. Rosado looks like he prefers to fight this on the inside. And a warning from the referee, Pete Santiago. I believe he is taking a point away.
If he took a point away from Rosado, then the fight's gone for Rosado unless...
He took a point away from both fighters.
Oh, he did.
And that ends the second round. So taking one away from each would have nullified whatever else happened. So whoever you had winning the round, Gil, you give credit to, and that would be Rosado, right?
Correct. I had Rosado winning the round. Don't put words in my mouth, Bruce.
And it's probably for holding. They didn't go on the break.
But actually, Rosado was the guy that didn't pay attention to the referee. It wasn't Greenwood.
So each boxer loses 1 point in the round. Pete Santiago
focus, concentrate. This is it, Johnny. The whole
looks over at us and gives us the call.
Come on. Sit down. This motherfucker. Come on.
Come on, Johnny boy.
So this is the third round. Is everything up for grabs here?
I would have to say so. My opinion, each guy won a round. Here comes Rosado, shot out of a gun again. And another good right hand by Rosado.
Don't forget, the beginning of the bout, Rosado had a point taken away from him.
Right, that probably gave Greenwood that first round.
Well, in my opinion, that gives Greenwood a 1 point edge going into this round.
Third and final round, heavyweight novice division. Stanley Greenwood in the gold trunks, Juan Rosado in the blue.
And you can see Greenwood boxed Riddick Bowe those 3 rounds every day, but in the meanwhile, he's boxing 2-minute rounds now, and his mouth is open and he's gasping for air. Goes to show you the difference in the pace.
Still 70 seconds to go. Rosado did a good job there picking off that punch of Greenwood's.
Yeah, but it looks so pretty when he throws the punch, Bruce.
It doesn't matter.
Even though Rosado is blocking the punches, it may be fooling one or two of the judges. Rosado just does not want to break. Doesn't pay attention to the referee. And there he stepped back to fix his head guard. Now he's one for ducking below the waist.
This has been a foul-plagued fight.
they're not serious. But, oh, good right hand by Rosado.
And he's hurt. Greenwood backs up into the ropes. Nothing called by the referee, Pete Santiago. Might have been given a standing 8, but nothing was given there with 15 seconds left.
I think the referee was shaken up during that.
He could have used a standing 8. Final seconds of the third round. There's some blood inside the mouth of Stanley Greenwood. That little flurry at the end by Rosado may have been enough. And this fight is complete.
I would have to give it to Greenwood simply with the 1 point taken away making that difference.
I'm going to give it to Rosado.
I gave it to Rosado too. I thought the 1 point had Greenwood ahead 1 point going into the round. And I had Rosado winning the third round. And if you finish stronger, everything else being equal, you have to give it to the guy that finished stronger.
Okay, we'll see what the judges think too.
Okay.
Let's look at that last flurry by Rosado.
There's the left hook and the right hand, and that's the punch that really put Greenwood on Queer Street. He didn't know where he was for a moment.
And here's where the referee gets run into by Greenwood. Kathy, here's another look at it.
Here it goes. Now I wonder if the referee and the ropes weren't there, you don't know what would have happened. It probably would have been a knockdown.
Waiting for the judges to pass along the score sheets. And we're ready for the official decision as soon as they get it. Let's go to Kevin Van Meter for the official announcement.
And the winner of the heavyweight novice class is, from the blue corner, Juan
Rosado.
And you see the sportsmanship of Greenwood. Immediately he started to applaud Rosado. That's the kind of sportsmanship that you see in boxing. One of the few sports that you see that kind of admiration for your opponent.
Now this guy is absolutely fired up. Here's Greenwood. He's applauding right away for Rosado, who goes off to celebrate, but eventually they did hook up. Rosado from Gallagher's Gym wins the Golden Gloves. Michael Addison against David Waknine for the 165-pound novice championship, our last bout of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final match on tonight's card is the 165-pound novice class. The referee is Pete Santiago. In the gold corner, Michael Addison from the Suffolk PAL program. Addison is 24 and an assistant retail manager. He was a semi-finalist in the 92 Daily News Golden Gloves. His record stands at 1 bye, 2 decisions, and 1 knockout. In the blue corner, David Waknine, boxing for Gleason's Boxing Club. A student at John Jay College, he lives in Manhattan Beach. His record, 1 bye and 3 decisions.
Well, there's a look at David Waknine, who looks to become the first fighter ever born in Casablanca, Morocco, who lived in Boca Raton, Florida, who then ended up in Manhattan Beach, Brooklyn, to win the Golden Gloves. David is 23 years of age, fighting out of Gleason's Gym, and his opponent, Michael Addison, for the Suffolk PAL, hometown Bayshore, New York. Addison, gold trunks. Waknine in the blue trunks. 165-pound novice class. Waknine's first year in the gloves. Addison's second year was a semifinalist in '92. Has a light heavyweight last year, but he said he was too small and too light. Good body blow, followed up with a nice punch upstairs by Addison. Addison, another southpaw.
Waknine is definitely having a hard time figuring it out. He's getting beaten to the punch already. He threw two hands at the same time just there.
Pretty difficult leverage.
Never seen it.
Finally snuck the right in. Looks like Addison has a decent game plan, throwing the jab and then following it up occasionally with the straight left.
So he's not doing very much, but that's all you need to do in the amateurs, because each time you're scoring a point.
And he's getting off first. That's the important thing in 3 2-minute rounds. Throw those punches, score points.
20 seconds to go in the first of 3 rounds. And a good straight left hand landed by Addison. The action continues in the largest amateur boxing tournament in the world, the Golden Gloves. Respect Gil Clancy and Kathy Burke at the Paramount in Madison Square Garden. Final bout of the evening, second round in the Daily News Golden Gloves. Michael Addison, gold trunks, David Waknine in the blue. 165-pound novice class. And it's been pretty much Addison getting off. That's been the story in this one.
It's Addison circling and Waknine trying to find him.
And Addison can find Waknine, but he can't. Waknine can't find him. It's almost a shutout.
Surprised with the couple of southpaws that we had tonight. We didn't have anyone tripping over each other. They've been very far away.
Yes, usually they step on each other's feet, and a lot of headbutts when southpaws fight orthodox fighters.
Addison, a superb athlete, went to Amityville High School in Suffolk County in New York. He was the county champion in the 110-meter high hurdles. Showed us a little punching power there. He then went on to the Junior Olympics in 1988 in Finland, and he's a decathlete.
And he's scoring and scoring and scoring this round.
David Waknine is just not doing enough work. Waknine is a little bit confused, perplexed with the southpaw coming at him. And he's a major in psychology at John Jay College. Figure that one out. All Addison in the second round. Well, we're headed to the final round of the night. And the Daily News Golden Gloves in New York for 1993, night 1.
And boy, both guys are anxious to get to it. The referee had to chase them both back to the corners before the bell.
Michael Addison, Suffolk BAL in the gold trunks. David Waknine from Gleason's Gym in the blue.
If I were Addison, I wouldn't be that excited to get at him. I'd kind of want to cruise through this round because I think he has a very big lead.
Well, I do too, Kat, but you know, again, they're amateur kids and they want to impress, and you can never be sure of the judging.
That's true.
Oh, good straight left landed by Addison. Pete Santiago separates the fighters. Coming up on a minute left in round 3. The southpaw continues to put the pressure on.
And score the points.
And score it will. Waknine must be thinking he's facing the Amityville Horror. Waknine, who has reduced his weight from 209 to 165 in the last few years, doesn't show any power tonight.
I couldn't picture him at 209. He must have been very much out of shape.
Addison finishing up a methodical 3-round bout. And the bell sounds, ending the fight. Well, from this standpoint, Addison pitched the shutout.
I thought he pitched the shutout as well. And you can?
And that's all of us.
Michael Addison, handled by Dennis Hartley and Paul Seabury, an assistant manager for an intermediate care facility which brings autistic and developmentally disabled adults into the local community. And we have seen a lot of young men who are really involved in the community, Gil, giving back.
Well, yeah, these amateur coaches, I mean, people don't realize the time that they put in and the travel that they put in and the interest that they put in with these kids. And again, it shows in the results, as we mentioned earlier, less than 1% failed the drug test. I mean, it's just unbelievable. 300 and something kids, mostly from the inner city, and they're all clean-cut kids. Just great.
They understand the term giving back. So we're waiting for the official decision. Michael Addison, David Waknine. We're set to go. Here's Kevin Van Meter.
And the winner of the 165-pound novice class is, from the gold corner, Michael Addison.
Well, there was no doubt about that one. Michael Addison,
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes
the novice winner in the 165-pound class. Second year in the gloves, last year a semifinalist. This year takes it to another level by winning his first pair of golden gloves. And yes, the smile and the satisfaction says it all for Addison. We'll run to the 66th Daily News Golden Gloves Championships from Madison Square Garden in New York. For Gil Clancy and Kathy Burke, I'm Bruce Beck. Thanks for joining us, and so long from the Paramount at